Welcome to Climbing Clouds. I'm going to get into a reading tonight. And we're going to start with I'm just saging some incense here. It's kind of a berry, it's a dragon incense. It smells good. Okay, let's get into a reading. This is for the Creative Collective. Okay, I'm going to pull a few cards from a dream deck. This is not a tarot deck. These are just dream images that come through, kind of like a tapping into the subconscious, the Creative Collective subconscious. Thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing. Please pass the channel on to anybody that you know who is a creative thinker and would like more support in their life to keep evolving. All right, so we are in school. We are in school, and this is a learning ground. So it's kind of a check-in with, you might have some lessons going on this week that are a little challenging. Technology is an issue. Technology can be a conduit, but it can also be a barrier. And then we have being at work and people that have moved on through the other side. This is deceased, being visited by maybe a past relative or somebody on the other side who has an influence in your life. And how these correlate, I've got teeth falling out. Oh, wow. So it's, when I read this card directly, it just is a fear of aging. And then it's interesting that we have deceased, so death, which is Scorpio energy, a lot of change, transformation. And then they have the deeper lessons, so that fundamental taking on your work in maybe a hands-on way rather than just in a technological way. So maybe connecting with your work in different ways and maybe feeling a sense of expiration, like what is it that you want to do before you die? And that's my question for you as a collective, creative collective. What's calling you for your life purpose, your dharma? What's calling you for your work? And how are you being guided by those who have passed on before you through maybe their work or the way that you've learned lessons from them? That's being highlighted right now. Okay, so we're going to move those aside. These are always to be taken with a grain of salt. I don't take them for face value. They're purely, it's like when you interpret a dream. They're purely visual symbols. And so you might even have your own meaning attached to it that has nothing to do with what I've just said, and that's okay too. So you can take what works for you. That's the beauty of these readings. They're a little bit open-ended. And not to say they're not specific, because I'm going to tell you exactly what cards I'm drawing. We're going to start with the Knight of Wands and the Three of Cups. And this is player energy, typically. So you might be being pursued by somebody who is kind of a player and likes to celebrate. Those are the two ways to look at the energy of the Three of Cups. But let's see how it plays out with what's coming in. We've got an upside down King of Pentacles. So somebody is not feeling very stable. And this could be why this particular masculine energy would be in player mode. Maybe they're distracting themselves through drinking and celebrating and playing just to kind of feel, sometimes we do things like that. We distract ourselves when we don't want to focus on the work at hand, coming back to the work theme. Because what I'm drawing from before is going to play a part into this main drawing. We've got the Four of Wands. So yeah, that's pretty serious. That's typically the marriage card in tarot. It's about stability. Fours are stable. I don't like how I look on here. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm being really picky. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm a little shy, so just bear with me. Okay, so we've got the Four of Wands. The Page of Wands. Often pages can be in consideration to a young idea or a child or just the beginning of a project. The wands are the fire suit and have to do with your passion and your interest. And again, this goes back to your work. Are you doing what you're passionate about? What is your passion? What do you want to do on this planet before you die? You've got the Lovers and the Wheel of Fortune, which is a great coupling. The Lovers is all about a choice in love, obviously, but also choosing what you love, choosing your work. The Wheel of Fortune, it's fortunate. You're tapping into your ability to create your own Wheel of Fortune as a creative thinker. And so it is really important to make this choice to do what you love. Are you doing what you love? Are you following your calling? What is your calling, and how have your ancestors before you influenced this calling for you? What are your distractions right now? These are questions I want you to ask yourself. What in your life have you just kind of pushed to the side as a what work have you pushed to the side while you distract yourself playing? Can you take some of what you're playing, how you play and distract yourself, and put that into your work? I mean, these are just different ways to look at it. Okay, there's not one way to look at it. Let's get into the drawing though. I'm being called to pick a few more. Okay, so this is victory. You are victorious. This is the Six of Wands. There is a sense of victory going on right now as we speak. You might be feeling burdened and tired with the Ten of Wands and the King of Cups to the Queen of Cups. This is a pair. So some coupling is coming together in love. There is a sense of maybe your masculine and your feminine sides. Everybody has both. Maybe you are fulfilling a sense of wholeness within the work you do and learning how to balance that. Again, the Hanged Man, which was in the last reading that I just posted, all about a new perspective and a mental clarity on something that you're possibly not used to seeing us in that way. Maybe you're seeing something totally different, and that's great. Welcome that into your mind frame. We've got a little bit of standing your ground with this card, with the Seven of Wands, and the World with the Page of Swords and the Seven of Swords. Okay, so yeah, you might be defending yourself from others' opinions of you. Maybe you're just standing your ground and walking your walk, talking your talk. Because you might have somebody that is trying to steal your light or to steal your sense of security, or might even be trying to steal from you. So these are all good reasons to guard yourself right now. This energy is around you. You're starting a whole new chapter. Protect your pathway. And so that's all falling onto your dharmic path. That's what I'm being called to talk about for this reading. It's all about your dharma, which, what's your calling? What's your calling in life? For me, I have a lot of different expressions that I foster And this is one of them. Just connecting with you through readings. You don't have to be stuck in a box. This is the Page of Pentacles. What a beautiful innocent card. It is about innocence. The beginning, it's like the beginning of spring, where the flowers are just being watered and starting to bud. It's a budding of ideas. It's the beginning of something that will have merit. And then we have the Magician. So tapping into your magical, creative ability to conjure up the life that you dream of. Your life is within reach, within your fingertips. It's all up to you. How often do you actually allow yourself the freedom of thought to be the magician in your life? And the Fool. What a beautiful card. I love the Fool. This is taking a leap of faith into the unknown. It's the beginning of the great unknown. It's how all wonderful stories start. You must be willing to be a fool to follow the unknown. So it's kind of like a childlike exuberance. It's your inner child, what's driving you, what really makes you happy. It's time to do that. It's time to, maybe you take baby steps. You've got the whole world ahead of you. This is a brand new chapter. This is twice now that the world has come up in this reading. The world signifies a doorway in tarot language. A whole new chapter, basically. And when it's coupled with the Fool, this is, you're walking through a change that you're not going backwards. You're not going to be the same. You're evolving. So you're not going to be the same. So embrace it, because that's part of being alive. And you're not deceased. We have the fear of death as maybe a motivator, but you are alive. And what else wants to come through? Wow, this is so beautiful. This is the Whimsical Moments deck. I absolutely love this artist. I will post who created this deck. This is the Six of Cups. It's typically the soulmate card in connection with your past, as well as the Ace of Pentacles. Again. It's the beginning of spring as well. It's that spring energy that's coming into your life. Somebody might feel trapped. This picture of a man he's caged and maybe not able to pursue the love that he feels. So how can you remove these bars in your life? How can you do that for yourself? Well, here's one way. The Tower is here. So you're being forced to change whether you like it or not. Because when the Tower comes up in a reading, it depicts in every tarot deck, there's the Tower, right? And it's this image of a tower destructing, and trying to hold on to that is pointless. So you either jump to your death, or you fly out and you change. It's very symbolic of the fact that you just cannot escape this change, okay? And it's an irreversible force, and it's usually sudden and beyond your control. but it's nothing to fear. It's really a part of life. And here's what you're moving into, which is really wonderful and expansive. It's the Wheel of Fortune. It keeps coming up. This is a major theme for the creative potential. And the Wheel of Fortune is a fortuitous movement of the life cycle in your favor. It's time to harness that into your own life and take advantage of the fortunate turning of events in your life, in the here and now. You are the magician, so you're writing your script as you go along, and there's beauty in that. There's also a lot of unknowns, and maybe you feel out of control in the middle of the tower, but on the other side of that is the Wheel of Fortune, which is moving in a clockwork precision. It's the opposite of the tower. It's change in a very rhythmic change. It's a very cyclic change. It's very controlled in a positive way. So it's like, these are almost like two sides of the same coin, the Wheel of Fortune and the tower. It's a duality. It's like a yin and a yang energy together. You might have a lot of anxiety, sleepless nights. You might be worried. This is the Nine of Swords, the mental anxiety, basically. She's got eyes all over her body, like she's overly alert to the sensory is on high alert. It's like the flight or fight, being stuck in flight or fight. So you might have problems sleeping right now. You might be preoccupied. When this happens, it's your mind is in overdrive because you're seeking to logically understand something that is beyond your logical comprehension. Not everything is going to be understood by your logical mind. When you start truly progressing and growing creatively, there's an encompassing intuitive side of your brain that needs to be allowed to flourish. And part of that is not knowing. It's spontaneous. You don't have to have the answers to everything. And your logic might need to take a break. Just, that's why it's a good time to meditate and learn how to switch gears without letting it take a hold of you and controlling you, where you can be more in control of how you're reacting. If you're having a lot of anxiety, it's time to give in to the flow a little bit of life and maybe be good to yourself and take a step back and have some, maybe you need extra sleep or pampering or nurturing so that you can buffer that anxiety and buffer the stress. I mean, I get it really bad. I was triggered all week long this week. There was nothing I could do that would be enough to not feel anxiety. Anxiety is real. So I'm not just saying, pretend it's not there or do this and it'll go away. It's not just a pat answer, but it's something that comes up when you're creatively growing. Sometimes it becomes heightened because you have so much stimulus going on that you're reacting to, that you might be excited about, or that you might be, processing. You're processing. And then we have here the Five of Pentacles, which is feeling left out, feeling in the cold, it's the opposite of this. This man feels trapped inside. This is being trapped outside. And both are trapped. It's just interesting that these are coming through in the same reading. It's a contrast of equal disproportion. We have the Ace of Wands and the Hierophant. I'm going to end on the Hierophant. The Hierophant is an all-knowing energy. It's ruled by Taurus, and it's kind of like an authoritative tradition patriarch. It's kind of like a very wise father energy. And so I see another contrast in this reading between life and death and innocence and wisdom, and play, work and play, all the dualities, being meticulous and being chaotic, being controlled and having anxiety, feeling a lack of control. So all of these need a tempering. All of these are coming forth to possibly bring in a holistic, a whole new holistic approach to your Dharma. The Five of Wands and the Six of Swords. So this is getting to a place of peace strategically. All right. I'm going to draw one more dream card and then call the reading. So how do we want to end, or what note are we ending on for this reading for the Creative Collective? And thank you for joining and liking and subscribing to Climbing Clouds, where we are creatively, I'm being really drawn to this. Oh wow, this is drowning. Okay. And that is kind of a form of feeling trapped, as well as falling. Wow, this is so interesting. Okay, so falling and drowning both came out, which is a sense of being out of control. So maybe this is just a time for you to find a place of peace within the feeling of lack of control, and learning to trust by maybe going inward and giving yourself that buffer. This channel is created to support you as you evolve creatively, to just have that positive, nurturing vibe for anybody out there who is doing their creative work on a daily level, on a weekly level. Even if you're taking baby steps and you're doing it on a minuscule level, whatever level, wherever you are with your creative process, this is just a chance to tap in and find tools of support. Thank you for liking and joining and following Climbing Clouds Tarot. And be good to yourself always.